The arena shimmered under the twin suns, the metallic walls reflecting light in a dazzling spectacle that left the crowd gasping. Thousands of spectators filled the tiered stands of the Celestian Colosseum, their alien forms of every conceivable shape and size packed tightly together, buzzing with anticipation. At the center of the arena stood the alien princess, her armor gleaming like liquid silver, her eyes calm but sharp. For the past month, she had defeated every Challenger 500 in total through ritual combat, an unbroken chain of victories that had made her a legend across star systems. Her reputation was that of a warrior unmatched, a being whose skill and strategy could bend any opponent to her will. The air thrummed with tension as the announcer's voice, amplified by the Colosseum's resonance system, boomed across the arena. 500 challengers have fallen, and the princess remains undefeated. Will today's entrant be any different? The crowd erupted into a chorus of cheers, alien shrieks, and metallic clangs. The gates at the far end of the arena hissed open. A figure stepped through, and the sound of the crowd changed. There was an immediate murmur of disbelief. He was a human, a species not known for brute strength or legendary combat skill in this sector. Humanoid, average in height, and wearing a simple combat suit that was clearly civilian in design, he carried no heavy weaponry. There was nothing particularly threatening about him. And yet, he walked forward with a calmness that made the air itself seem to pause. The alien princess tilted her head, studying him carefully. He did not raise a weapon. He did not charge. And yet he moved with a precision that suggested he understood exactly what he was entering. The crowd, sensing her momentary hesitation, grew louder. As if to encourage the fight to begin, the human stopped at the center of the arena and bowed respectfully. "I am here to challenge you," he said. His voice was steady, devoid of fear, yet it carried a weight of certainty that caught even the princess off guard. No one had ever addressed her so directly, so calmly, without trembling before her legacy. Her first instinct was to dismiss him. What could a human possibly do that had defeated 500 warriors before him? She had zenith, cunning, agility, and ferocity. Yet here he was, standing unflinching, unarmed, and somehow ... aware. The ceremonial gong sounded. The ritual combat began. Her first strike was a test, a quick dash forward to gauge his reflexes. He sidestepped with barely a movement, as if the very air guided him, and tapped her shoulder lightly, a gesture of acknowledgement rather than attack. The crowd gasped. The princess's eyes widened slightly. This human was not just agile. He seemed to anticipate her moves. She adjusted her stance, this time more seriously. Each swing of her weapon was met with effortless evasion. It was as if he were reading her intent rather than her actions, predicting the exact point where she would move before she even committed to it. Her strikes, swift and precise, all met empty air. The human moved with a rhythm that was almost artistic, turning her attacks into a dance rather than a battle. The princess, frustrated for the first time in her combat history, increased the intensity. She launched a flurry of strikes that had ended countless challengers. Yet, again and again, he dodged, barely making contact, and occasionally deflecting her blade with careful, non-lethal movements. A strange feeling settled over her. No one had ever survived her assault without injury. No one had ever made her feel ... vulnerable. But there was no fear in his eyes, only focus. Each movement he made was deliberate, economical, and precise. Minutes passed. The battle became a blur of motion, her attacks faster and more intense, his defense flawless yet calm. Sweat formed along the edges of her armor, a rare testament to the exertion she was experiencing. Yet despite the heat and the adrenaline, she could not land a decisive blow. Finally, she paused, breathing heavily. Her mind raced. No human had ever been part of these rituals. No human had ever stood in this arena and not been reduced to dust within the first 5 seconds. Yet here he was, standing tall, without fatigue, without fear. "Why do you fight this way?" she asked, her voice carrying over the arena. It was not anger but curiosity, tinged with awe. The human lowered his stance and smiled faintly. "Because this is not about defeating you with brute force. It is about understanding. I did not come here to conquer. I came here to see the truth of your skill." The princess blinked. Few could speak so boldly in the arena, and even fewer could do so without arrogance. There was a subtle power in his words, a clarity that cut through the noise of her ego. For the first time, she considered that perhaps this human was different not in strength, but in perception. She attacked again, more carefully now, testing his reactions rather than unleashing her full power. He responded in kind, guiding her strikes away without aggression, his movements turning each clash into an exchange rather than a confrontation. The audience was silent, mesmerized by the strange harmony forming in the center of the arena dot. As the minutes turned into hours, a rhythm emerged. The human never attempted to overpower her. Instead, he adapted, moving with precision, redirecting her energy and avoiding unnecessary contact. The princess, in turn, adjusted, learning his patterns, understanding his timing. What had begun as a challenge became a lesson conversation in motion, a battle of minds rather than muscle. Finally, she stopped again, breathing hard but smiling slightly. "You are unlike any opponent I have ever faced," she admitted. "I cannot tell whether you are human or something beyond." "I am only human," he replied simply. "But humans have a gift you may not yet see. We learn, we adapt, and we look for what others miss." The princess considered this, lowering her weapon fully. She could feel the shift in the crowd, their tension giving way to awe, their anticipation replaced with wonder. This human had not only survived, he had challenged her in ways no alien warrior ever could. Slowly, deliberately, she extended her hand. "Then you are the first," she said. "The first to enter this arena and not be defeated." The human clasped her hand firmly, the gesture filled with respect rather than triumph. In that moment, the dynamics of the ritual shifted entirely. Victory was no longer about domination, but recognition. The princess saw in the human's eyes a reflection of something she had never known, the power of intellect, patience, and observation, qualities often underestimated by warriors who relied solely on strength. Word of the battle spread quickly across the galaxy. Stories of the human who had entered the arena and stood unbowed before the legendary princess became a phenomenon. Scholars, strategists, and warriors studied every account, every description of his movements, seeking to understand how a seemingly fragile species could defy centuries of tradition and expectation. Meanwhile, a princess began a transformation of her own. She invited the human to study with her, to train alongside her and share insights from his unique perspective. Under his guidance, her skills sharpened, her strategy deepened, and her understanding of combat transcended mere physicality. Together, they explored new techniques, combining the best of alien might with human adaptability. Years passed, and the human's influence reshaped the culture of the arena. Ritual combat evolved from a display of brute strength into a test of strategy, intellect, and partnership. Warriors learned to value observation and foresight as much as raw power, and the legend of the alien princess became intertwined with the human who had changed everything simply by entering the arena and seeing the truth dot in the end. The arena remained, its walls still gleaming under the twin suns, its stands still filled with cheering crowds. But the meaning of victory had shifted. Now, it was not about defeating 500 challengers, or even the next, but about understanding, adaptation, and the courage to challenge assumptions. And the princess, once unbeatable and untouchable, had found an ally in a teacher and a human who was, by all appearances, ordinary but extraordinary in ways that mattered most. The galaxy never forgot the day the human entered the arena, and the princes never forgot the lesson he brought. Strength could break bones, but understanding could change worlds. And together they did.